You're watching Ask Profit here at NDTV Profit. I'm Mahima Vacharjani and with me is Puneet Zaveri. On your screens is flashing Groww's earnings. We did see how it flew in trade post its listing and also did of course come back and see a lower circuit as well, but up 5% as we speak on the back of its earnings. Overall total income is up 13%, net profit up 25 odd percent, and we have Sharad joining us to give us some more perspective. Sharad, it's the first time after their listing they're posting their earnings. What is the fine print saying right now?
Mahima, it's a very interesting update coming in, and it seems like Groww has passed the earnings test. Overall, the Q2 numbers, we see the sequential numbers have been good, and you're looking at the numbers. Initially, the revenue has jumped up 13%, coming up on a sequential basis at almost 1,071 odd crore rupees. Even net profit, that's a significant uptake coming in with a growth of 25 odd percent, and the number is 471 odd crore rupees. Now we are comparing these numbers on a sequential basis, and that has actually shown an operationally strong quarter as well. We will be tracking the company, especially on what their press release is likely to come up with, and at 4 o'clock today will be company's con call as well at what would be their guidance going ahead. Initially, Mahima, we had discovered that the October data, we had seen market share gains coming for Groww. They have roughly 26% market share in the industry, while Zerodha is the nearest competitor that's having a 15.5 odd percent. But after 2 days of sell-off, now we are seeing interest back in this counter, and the stock is up almost 5 odd percent after a better than operational earnings coming on a sequential basis.
Absolutely, Sharad, and that's reflected in the counter as well. I mean, last two sessions we saw almost 20% downstick in the counter. Almost 22,000 odd crore of market cap was washed off for something like a Groww. But of course, that's the valuation correction role also playing its part, plus the volumes also playing its part. But we have Aditya Shah, founder of Hercules Advisors, joining us now. Aditya, hi. Thank you so much for joining us, and a very good morning to you. Your first take on Groww posting its earnings for the first time post its listing.
Yeah, I'm just seeing the results as I speak. So the result seems pretty okay. The revenue has fallen down a tad bit, and the profitability has also grown by about, let's say, 10 to 15%. So from my perspective, it is fairly okay. Mind you, most of the brokers have seen a little bit of erosion in volume as the market continues to remain sideways, and people choosing to stay away from trading. So from my perspective, steady results, nothing to complain about as such. Of course, the valuation is really very aggressive on Groww, and as the locked in investors will come into the market, we could see some bit of time correction or a price correction as well, but nothing relating to the results.
Aditya, very good morning. It's Puneet this side as well. What should actually, from the fundamental side, we should watch out for Groww going forward? Because you rightly mentioned that post a stellar listing, the extended run, we are starting to see some cool off. You might also see some time correction, as you rightly highlighted. We have the conference call today at 4 o'clock as well. Apart from growth momentum, what else will you be watching out for specifically for Groww in this particular quarter?
So basically, for a broker, volumes is something that I watch out for. Average volume turnovers that the broker does will at some point translate into some revenue. So from my perspective, the volumes per se, what is going to happen there, and the future strategies as to how are they going to ward off competition and maintain market share is something that I will look forward to in this phone call per se. Net, the result is particularly in line with other brokers as well, who have reported fall in volumes, as well as BSE. If BSE is the only listed space, NSE is not listed. In fact, both BSE and NSE also reported a slowdown in volumes. So from my perspective, I want to understand the volume story as well as what their strategy is going forward with respect to competition.
Right.
Those are some things that I will watch out.
Got it. Aditya, Groww's FY25 revenue ended over 4,000 odd crores. Last two quarters, quarter one and quarter two, if we take a look at the numbers, overall revenue has been around 2,000 crores. Do you think that the 3-year revenue CAGR of 125% will be maintained, because they've just been able to do that 2,000 crore in first two quarters? We'll have to see as to how the other two quarters are in terms of revenue growth. Where do you think the revenue growth will come at the end of FY26?
So particularly for a broker, the revenue growth will depend on how the market is really behaving. In a sideways market where stocks are not doing too much, you will find the revenues stagnate or revenues come down as well because the F&O volumes tend to stagnate. So from my perspective, what is important to watch is how the market behaves, how the volumes ramp up, and also if SEBI is willing to curb on the options expiry, or SEBI is willing to put some extended curbs on retail investor participation in F&O. SEBI has, it is difficult to curb retail investor participation. If somebody comes and does so, that is a real negative for a broker perspective. So these are 3-4 things: regulatory action, market momentum, and F&O volumes. These are something to watch out for. I think revenue growth will depend solely on that. 3-year CAGR of 125%, I don't think that will sustain over a period of next 2 to 3 years. Of course, brokers will do exceptionally well as the capital markets continue to grow, but I don't think that sort of growth momentum will continue.